Well, assuming the flush has been signed off on and meets the OEM's approval, you're good to go. So after that, you would take a sample 24 hours after the machine is running. You would retain 4 liters or a gallon and keep that. You'd send a sample of that into the lab, and then that becomes your baseline for which all future oil analysis on the life of that oil would be referenced against. I always get very frustrated, and I see a lot of good lab analysis reports, but there's no baselines. So you need those baselines, and you don't need the baselines of new oil, you need the baselines of that oil in your machine after 24 hours of operation. The second thing I want to consider is, what do we need to do moving forward on our testing program to make sure we are following ASTM 4378. This is the in-service guideline and governing standard for turbine and compressor lubricants. Okay, so that'll tell us what to do, when to test it, and what test method to follow. You can use that to make sure that you're covering off all the bases on what you need to do moving forward. The third thing, after a flush, your system's going to be very clean and contaminant free from a solid contamination perspective. You have a brand new oil in there, and what you're going to want to do is leave that in a managed state so that oil quality can be maintained. The last thing we want is for the chemistry of that oil to start degrading on day one into something less than ideal. Now, this is not going to happen on its own. If you just proceed as the status quo suggests right now, you will test your oil every month, until which time the chemistry fails and then you have to change it. So rather than going through that cycle, why not put a solution in place to manage the chemistry moving forward so that you're in a fully managed state 100% of the time. So lube oil conditioner like SVR will do that, and it's going to manage the chemistry of that fluid so that everything that subsequently happens will be in an optimized condition. The last thing that you could consider is adding 5% top-up oil every year to maintain additive levels. Historically, this has not always been done because it's offered little to no value. And the reason it hasn't traditionally offered any value, or historically offered any value, is because as soon as you add new oil to a turbine or compressor, it reacts instantaneously with the accumulated oxidation material that's in that system. And so the additive in that new oil is wasted the first day it's put into service. So because we put in a chemistry management system from day one onto this lubricant, there's nothing in there. There's no oxidation material in there to react with that additive, so that when you do add that 5% top up, you're going to be getting the maximum efficiency out of that additive that's available. So those 4 steps will get you on the road to success.